Spotted in Japan. These private egg-like sleeping pods allow you to travel by overnight bus and stay in your own shell at the same time. Perfect choice for introverts, huh? Tokyo-based bus company Willer Express introduced this feature in 2020. Each bus has 18 spacious reclining seats with rests for feet and neck, foldable tables, and holders for cups, bags, and smartphones. And a blanket, of course. But what's even more important, each pod is equipped with electrical outlets to charge all your devices. There are 3 seats in a row. Can't wait to test these private pods on your own? You can book them on Willer's line of Reborn buses. The ticket price varies from around $100. And since we're visiting Japan, don't be surprised to find this device in one of the fast food restaurants. It's implemented in a sink to provide disinfecting for the customer's smartphones while they're washing their hands. This system, named Wash, W-O-S-H, was developed by the Japanese company Wota. All you need to do is put your gadget inside this little opening. It will disappear for a while, just like cash in an ATM. But unlike the money, your phone will actually come back to you safe and clean in just 30 seconds. Don't forget to take it out. But even if you forget your phone at the sink, there's a good chance that no one will steal it. Japan is famed as one of the most low-crime nations. One Reddit user posted a touching story that proves this claim. Here's a picture of her shopping bag dropped on the streets of Osaka. When she went back to look for it later that day, she saw the bag lying next to a tree, untouched. Apparently, someone carefully put it there so that the owner could pick up the lost things. Isn't it adorable? Another cool feature from Japan is spiral escalators. Japanese company Mitsubishi still remains the only manufacturer of these twisted staircases in the entire world. This one is installed at the front entrance of Mitsubishi Electric in Ozawa Works. Spiral escalators smoothly go up and down in the shape of a semicircle, while the riders enjoy the panoramic view. But this is a fairly rare occurrence. There are only 91 of these staircases globally. Can you guess a country just by looking at this picture? Australia, of course. This epic shot was made at a camping ground. I wonder how this kangaroo is going to get out of the toilet. You see, these animals are not equipped to hop or move backwards because of their long feet and a large tail. This is one of the reasons why the kangaroo appears on the Australian coat of arms along with the emu. Neither animal can move backwards easily. That's why they were chosen as symbols of a nation that's always moving forward. And this is what Tasmanian lemons look like. No, they don't actually grow without skin. But the local possums took care of it. And they didn't even bother picking the lemons from the tree. One internet user spotted these guys in the garden and noticed that they only like lemon skin and leaves. This creates a great symbiosis because people usually use the insides of a lemon. And since we're walking among the woods, be aware of golden huntsman spiders because they love this habitat. The adult huntsman spiders have leg spans that can measure up to 6 inches. These creepy guys are members of the family Sparacidae. They received this name thanks to their speed and mode of hunting. But they have one more title, giant crab spiders, because of their appearance and size. Although huntsman spiders are venomous and their bites can be painful to humans, usually they don't require any hospital treatment. Check this out! Can you guess the country where this thermometer picture was taken? Australia again! The highest temperature ever recorded in this country was 123 degrees Fahrenheit. But it's not a world record. The hottest day in history happened in 1913 in California. It reached 134 degrees Fahrenheit. And here's another bus feature for introverts. Some city buses in Finland have this thumbs up button to thank the driver when leaving. Too bad they don't have a thumbs down button for balance. What if the ride wasn't so nice? How about riding a Ferris wheel instead? In Finland, you can do it in a personal sauna gondola. The first sky sauna in the world began operation in 2016. Many tourists and locals have been enjoying this feature over the years. This little gondola allows you to enjoy the warmth of a real sauna while riding 131 feet off the ground and looking at the breathtaking view over Helsinki. After landing, the bathers can relax in a jacuzzi and take a shower afterwards. Of course, manufacturers had to be creative when it came to power sources in the gondola. As a result, they built a custom electric heater to provide constant energy supply. Did you know that kebab pizza is a national food of Sweden? Surprisingly, it's one of the most popular fast food dishes in the country. This pizza is topped with kebab meat and other ingredients such as tomato sauce, cheese, onion, peppers, and kebab sauce. The toppings may vary between restaurants, but in general, this meal combines both Italian and Turkish cuisine. It was invented by Middle Eastern immigrants in Sweden, but the original creator of the kebab pizza is unknown, as well as the precise time of its invention. But it's believed to appear in the 1980s when kebab and falafel restaurants began to open across Sweden. In some regions, it became common to offer both pizza and kebab. And at some point, someone got a genius idea to mix it all in one disgustingly delicious course. Please welcome another weird national dish, fermented shark, called hakarl. It's a traditional food in Iceland. Many people wonder why Icelanders eat it rotten, and the reason is quite simple. Otherwise, the Greenland shark is poisonous when fresh. The process of fermentation is rather long and complicated, but it helps to get rid of all the poisonous substances. The traditional method begins with placing the shark in a shallow hole dug in gravelly sand. The shark is then covered with sand and stones to press the fluids out of the body. The further fermentation process takes from 6 to 12 weeks, depending on the season. Then the shark is cut and hung to dry for several months. And after that, all you need to do is to remove the brown crust and cut the fatty shark paste into small pieces. Bon appetit! Peru has the highest sand dune on the planet, Cerro Blanco. Located in the arid Nazca region of southwest Peru, it's known as the Everest of the desert. It covers almost 4,000 feet from base to summit, and the view is absolutely stunning. This dune can be found near another curious feature, the Nazca Lines. Located in southern Peru, this group of geoglyphs was discovered etched into the desert sands. Geoglyphs are basically large-scale drawings made on the ground by arranging lines of stones. They had astronomical purposes and served as pilgrimage sites. Nazca Lines cover an area of nearly 190 square miles and include about 70 images of animals and plants, and more than 300 geometric figures. Some of them are 1,200 feet long. That's why the figures are most visible from the air or nearby hilltops. Scientists believe that the lines were drawn by the Nazca people, who flourished from around AD 1 to 700. And since we're talking about Instagram-friendly deserts, check this out. This isn't a prehistoric giant. It's a sculpture called Mano de Desierto, the desert hand in the middle of the Atacama Desert in Chile. A giant hand reaching for the sky has a base of iron and concrete. The sculpture is 36 feet tall and is located around 3,600 feet above sea level. It's the work of the Chilean sculptor Mario Irarrázaval, inaugurated in 1992. The sculpture is known as a symbol of the human soul's vulnerability and its path through adversity to the stars. You can find it 46 miles south of the city of Antofagasta. Make epic shots and take a moment to reflect on your own path. Ever since Plato wrote about the allegory of Atlantis, humanity has been fascinated with the possibility of the discovery of a thriving underwater civilization. Fancy joining me on a trip to a few historic underwater sites? Let's see what we can find out about ancient civilizations. The first one on our list is what is being called the underwater Stonehenge. Scientists have recently discovered a mysterious pile of cairns that stretch for miles under the shimmering waters of Lake Constance at the borders of Switzerland, Germany, and Austria. Archaeologists began to explore the site back in 2015, and they haven't been able to understand yet what it was actually used for. What they do know is that there is a 12-mile line of 170 human-made stone cairns under Lake Constance. Scientists say this was most likely the result of a combined work of several villages. The cairn site was probably used for some collective purpose. The formations are huge. Some of them are several dozen feet wide. The most amazing discovery so far is that the site dates back to around 5,500 years ago. Now, what were we humans doing back then? We were living in the prime years of the so-called Stone Age. We were beginning to make artifacts from stone and use them to hunt and eat. Can you imagine what a knife and fork might have looked like back in those days? It's no coincidence that scientists call this site the underwater Stonehenge, though. Both sites are believed to have been built around the same period of time. You see, Stonehenge dates back to around 3100 BCE. Both sites carry the distinct characteristic of stone monuments built in a circle. Not to mention the fact that scientists also haven't figured out why on earth our early ancestors would feel the need to build a monument such as Stonehenge. Well, the mystery of Lake Constance hasn't been solved yet. Who were the Neolithic people from this area? And for what purpose did they go through such an amount of work and effort to build this huge stone site? Next, we're taking you on a tour of the Ryukyu Islands just off the coast of Japan. You're diving deep down to an archaeological site. But I should warn you, the waters of the Pacific Ocean are far from smooth. It doesn't take long before you see a huge structure, thanks to the sunlight shining down on the seabed. At first, it looks like Machu Picchu's ruins located across the globe in Peru. As you approach the site, you slowly figure out its forms. A pyramid-shaped structure, arches, staircases. It's something that could have easily been a palace or a castle. Could this be a sign of human activity? What you've just seen is known today as the Yonaguni Monument. It also goes by the name of Japan's Atlantis. The entire monument is about the size of 5 soccer fields and the height of a 5-story building. Its most surprising feature is its expanse of terraces. Explorers and scientists believe that Yonaguni might be 10,000 years old. But whether it's a human-made structure or a natural formation is still under debate. For Japan's top marine geologist, Professor Masaki Kimura, Yonaguni is the heritage of a lost civilization. Kimura has dived to the bottom of the ocean to explore the ruins over 100 times over the past 10 years. According to him, there are clear signs of human activity down there. On the monument's surface, there is a triangle-shaped concave that is a historical symbol of water fountains in the region. There's also a giant turtle carved on the eastern side of the structure. And, according to Kimura, turtles have an important cultural meaning. Several pieces of stone tools have been recovered from the site. Their estimated age is around 10,000 years. However, not all scientists support this theory. For many, Yonaguni is the result of thousands of years of erosion. The fact that the monument is composed of one massive rock leads them to believe it's not human-made. The defined edges and flat surfaces resemble a natural formation in Northern Ireland, known as the Giant's Causeway. The basalt columns look like the ruins of a palace, but they're actually the result of volcanic activity in the region. Now, you're flying to the coast of Greece, 4 hours away from Athens. More specifically, you're in the Peloponnese Peninsula. You dust off an old snorkel and head for a free dive on a bright sunny day. Sometime into the dive, you start noticing patterns on a seabed. 13 feet below the surface, outlines of familiar objects start to appear, one by one. As you continue swimming, what looks like the outline of an entire city emerges in front of your eyes. Are you wondering how water could have taken the whole city? Rocks are perfectly aligned into what appears to be the foundation of a building. This is Pavlopetri, an ancient city you've probably heard about for the first time. It was discovered by Nicholas Fleming, a British oceanographer, when he was on vacation in Greece. He had heard rumors about Pavlopetri's existence and indeed found several artifacts on the seafloor. He went back to the area a year later with the team. They found a site filled with pots, storage vessels, and tools. A kernstone, for instance, is a tool used for grinding grains and turning them into flour. Multiple amphoras indicate that this settlement dates back to the Bronze Age, 5,500 years ago, when people started living in towns. The settlement is believed to have existed for over 2,400 years. Today, Pavlopetri is considered the oldest submerged town ever discovered, and what's impressive is that it wasn't a simple village. It was a vibrant port city with stone buildings, a marketplace, streets, and even squares. The next stop on our voyage is one of today's most famous underwater cities that has been turned into an archaeological park. The city of Port Royal in Jamaica exists only below the surface, but in 1692 it was one of the wealthiest cities in the Western Hemisphere. Port Royal was the center of the British Empire at the time and an important trade city that attracted people from all over the region. It was also home to real-life pirates of the Caribbean. On the morning of June 7, 1692, the people of Port Royal met a different fate than they had probably expected. The city woke up shaking. People were thrown out of their beds by the power of a massive earthquake, ranking 7.5 on a Richter scale. One survivor said he had seen Earth opening up and swallowing the whole town. What he said could be true, as the city was mainly built on sand. The ground swallowed buildings, roads, you name it. Geysers erupted, and finally, waves as big as 10-story buildings hit the city. About 33 acres of the city disappeared under the water. Amazingly, most of its 17th century remains are still in good condition under 40 feet of water. Archaeologists have found taverns, storage rooms, kitchens, and recreational buildings used for diverse purposes. You can also see a grand lion statue, a submerged bridge, and many picturesque arches. Of course, I saved the best for last: India. Just off its coast lies another sunken marvel. A site known as the Lost City of Cambay is located in the Gulf with a similar name. It remained undiscovered until 2001, when the National Institute of Ocean Technology made a routine water assessment. With the help of sonar technology, which sends a wave sound to the bottom of the sea, they found something far beneath the surface. Images showed well-defined geometric shapes spread along a 5-mile stretch. The remains date to more than 9,500 years ago, meaning this civilization was lost at around the end of the Ice Age. Debris recovered from the site included construction material, pottery, beads, sculptures, and even bones. Scientists argue whether these artifacts are indeed from the site, but if they truly are, then the lost city of Cambay might be the oldest civilization in the world.